This is Dave from DaBelly. We're here at the Club Red today with Sanctuary with Lenny and Warrel. Welcome to the show tonight.
Hello.
Howdy doody.
I can see you're traveling incognito. Got the shades on. Yeah.
The light hurts.
The light. Well, we could shut it off, but it wouldn't be quite as pretty.
Too close to Halloween. I'm turning into the vampire persona.
That and we haven't slept in a few days.
Yeah.
Well, it's been almost a year now since we've talked to you last. You're still out on tour with The Year the Sun Died. First of all, congratulations on the record, like we told you last year. And congratulations on the success that it's afforded you for this past year, the opportunity to get out and tour around again. Have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. We've had some fun.
We've played places we haven't played in a little while, so it's kind of nice to get back out there and see some new friends and old friends and make new friends. So yeah, it's cool.
What he said.
Yeah.
He did it very
Succinctly. Well, I've noticed you spent some time over in Europe. You're over there with Overkill earlier in the year, and it's exciting. Get a chance to play some of the festivals?
Not so much festivals.
We played one festival, the Rock Hard Festival in May, and we wanted to play more, but it just didn't pan out. But yeah, the Overkill tour was great.
That was fun.
They're great guys. Always fun to tour with.
Yeah, hopefully we can do more of that because they're a blast to tour with. We get along with them really well and everything. So, maybe we'll do a U.S. thing someday. So
that'd be a great bill. That'd be a really good time. So since last we've talked to you, you put together a video for Frozen. I'd like to learn a little bit more about that. Tell me a little bit about that.
We did it in a warehouse in Germany somewhere. It was like
outside of Essen.
Yeah, it was a bizarre place that had all these like thousands of bird cage like devices hanging up in the ceiling that they said they put their clothes in at
we
night.
We think they chopped off people's heads and put them into these cages
it
during
just
World
didn't
War
make sense.
II. We don't know though.
Nice.
It was pretty eerie place. I mean, it looked like it was haunted, and but I mean, you can see it in the video. It's pretty cool.
Did you have something to say as far as the location, or was that how did that get picked?
Somebody suggested it, and we loved it.
Yeah.
So.
I think so.
Okay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Doors cover. We edited earlier, so everybody knows. As I was saying, your vocal in that intro is so haunting. I mean, anybody could hear that and say Doors right away. It was an amazing choice. How did that come about?
He loves that song. He wanted to do that years ago back in the day.
We talked about it before the band broke up back in '91. We talked about doing it for the third record, anyway, and we never got around to it at that point, and then it just seemed like the natural thing to do because we both love the Doors a lot. So for us, it was a no-brainer.
It sounds great, like I said.
I love Jim Morrison. So
his persona sort of, I think, is a good fit for you.
Yeah, it works for me.
Well, given that you're a band that's been around for 1 or 2 years, you've noticed that over the years the music industry's changed. Music's kind of come back to the bands again, whereas when you first put out your first 2 records, you're on Epic and everything was kind of Epic driven. And these days, these days
could have done more. Back then, Epic was signing bands, band after band that were heavy metal, and just kind of they didn't do a whole lot for any of them. Fifth Angel is another band from Seattle that got signed to Epic as well, right around the same time we did. And it was like they were just throwing all these bands against the wall, see which one stuck. They didn't really do a whole lot, and that was kind of the mentality back then with Epic. Sony. Ironic now that Century Media has been bought out by Sony.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a strange world. Well, these days, though, the music's changed to the extent where it's now back in your guys' hands. You often do the recordings. When I say you, I mean bands in general. Often do the recordings and then present them to the company for more or less distribution. Do you prefer that method, that approach?
I don't know if we necessarily do that. I mean,
we don't. We're
we
signed
still have
to
a
the
record
label,
company,
so.
but I mean, we do. There is a lot more control in certain things. Like, for instance, the recording process. I mean, we did a lot of it at my house and in my barn, So that part of it is very cool, just because of technology. It's allowed us to do things more economically, but we've also been forced into that. I mean, a lot of bands, know this, that nowadays your advances aren't that big, so you sort of have to get as creative as you can if you want to be able to create a decent product within your budget. So you figure out ways to get creative, and it's just kind of a necessary thing. So
Well, it's a necessary thing, and I want to believe, maybe naively, that it's a good thing, because it does give the bands opportunity to have more say. And there's no longer an A&R man, yes, necessarily sitting in your lap yelling for a single, yelling for direction in an album, trying to push you guys in any one direction or 5 directions. Who knows, right?
yeah, I think it depends on the record label and your A&R person, but I'm sure that still happens to some people. We've been pretty lucky. Century Media seems to kind of know what we're about, and we know what they're about, and we seem to work pretty good as a family together for the most part.
So you've had, well, as I said, you've been out for now a year on this album. Any thoughts of the next record? Have you already started recording and writing?
We're definitely working on riffs, and we have ideas, and we're a little slow. It's not gonna take us 25 years this time.
We're retarded.
We should have it finished in, I'm sure a couple years at the latest, but I would say, 2017, maybe something like that. But we do have ideas that we're working on, so yeah, we'll definitely, we're planning on another one, so.
So then it sounds like the plan for 2016 is to continue touring on, maybe hit some more festivals during the summer, and then sit down and settle in some heavy writing.
Sure, that would be great if we could do a bunch of summer festivals next year, but I'm not going to hold my breath right now. We really do need to start working on the next one, because festival people are always like, well, you don't have new product out. We had a new product out this year, and we only got one festival, so it's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah, it just depends. Yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely be working on new stuff, and that's the plan.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I got today. Is there anything I missed? Anything you want to talk about?
You covered it well, DaBelly.
Oh, cut it out.
I do have one thing to say. We do have a release coming out in 2016, I think. We've been talking about releasing a demo that we had back in 1985, which is all most of the songs that were on Refuge Denied, but it's the demo version of it.
There's a couple that weren't on the record, too.
Yeah, and they were all redone and not re-recorded or anything, but they've been all remixed and fixed and remastered and everything. And
now the demos sound better than Refuge Denied.
They sound killer. I mean, if you're a fan of Refuge Denied, you will love this thing. And it was mixed and mastered by Zeus, and it's basically done. So I would be surprised if that didn't come out in 2016. I think that'll be kind of our holdover, release until the new record comes out. So.
Any thoughts on the title? You can just call it Refuge Denied?
We don't know yet. We haven't talked that much about it, but so.
How many new songs? Couple, 2, 3?
You mean on
the re-release, on the demo? Yes.
2 that were not released.
2 that were not released, and 7 of them were on Refuge Denied. But they're all different versions. Is the cool thing? Is there? Some of the songs are longer, different arrangements and stuff. So when you hear it, if you're a big fan of that, and like Warrel said, it actually sounds better than Refuge Denied. It's kind of hard to believe, but
it's amazing that today's technology is doing good for us. Yeah. Well, thank you much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right.